and welcome, Veganowledge community. We are doing things a little bit differently due to
Hmm.
technical difficulties. We still have our wonderful guest, Angela Fischetti from Boomer and Beyond Wellness, and we are going to get right into it. She is a workout coach that has done amazing things for me and Dawn, and also for so many people in the community.
Oh, thank you so much, JJ. I really appreciate this. It was an interesting challenge getting on, but we did it, So there you have it. Maybe not in the format we originally anticipated, but that's okay. We go with the flow around here, right?
That's right. And you were in production before, right? Did I say it right? The show must go on.
That's it. Exactly. You said it absolutely correctly. So what we're going to do here today, folks, on Veganolodge JJ is a total body workout in a chair, right? You see me sitting, and it is for beginners. And this one is a special dedication. So basically, what I'm going to show you here today is a class that is kind of like a combination of the different classes that I teach on site at the various senior communities. So some of them are day centers, some of them are residential centers, and I'm using a lot of accessories. Now, I always like to do this, not always, but most of the time, I like to add a lot of stuff because it's really great for cognition. And it's different texture, and maybe you're always used to weights. Well, I'm going to throw in some other stuff today with you. And basically, what I'm doing is showing you all of the different equipment that I encounter at each of these communities. And I never teach the same class in for every single community. And I don't really honestly appreciate it when other instructors do that, because what I like to do is when a community is interested in my on-site work, I will go there and attend a function. And I preferably a function that's a couple of hours long. And I go to observe and see what um, what issues that community is dealing with, and then I create my workout accordingly. So each community, in a way, has its own personality. So the communities that I want to mention would there, and each and every one of them are fantastic. In Lauderdale Lakes, Florida, so they're all in Broward County, but in Lauderdale Lakes, there's the Alzheimer Care Center. This is a day center where they service the patients, the community, from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then also in Lauderdale Lakes is St. Joseph's assisted living facility. And this, of course, is residential. And then in Fort Lauderdale, and this is fabulous because it's on the water. This is the Meridian at Waterways. And then in Plantation, Florida, another spectacular community and really beautifully, literally kind of laid out like a small city unto itself, is called Covenant Living of Florida. So, like I said, this is everything that I find in each of these places. So we're putting them all together, and I'm kind of doing a blend here of each of those workouts. Now, the accessories we will be using today, well, obviously I'm sitting in a chair, right? And this one, if you see
We got to
through
have that
here,
chair.
yeah, and when you see through here, this is a yoga chair. Now, you don't have to have a yoga chair, but a standard folding chair would do. However, no armrests and no casters. I don't care if they lock in place, folks. You don't want any wheels on a chair when you're working out. Obviously, also, I have a sticky yoga mat, and I am sitting up on a cushion. So I'm going to discuss here for the moment how you would sit on a chair, any chair, by the way, but especially when you're working out in a chair. So you want to look here, and this is my acetabulo-femoral joint. It's also known as the coxal joint. It's the hip joint, folks. So we want to have that hip joint slightly higher than your knee joint, the tibiofemoral joint. The other thing is, I don't know if you just saw me do this, but I inched my feet a little forward. I do prefer that people sit with their ankles slightly forward of the knees, because for some reason when people get in a folding chair, they like to do this. They tuck their feet under. But if you have arthritic knees, you're just putting more compression and more flexion on the knee, so you want your ankle a little bit forward. Additionally, I'll be using a fit ball. And if you don't have a fit ball, that's okay. You can use a 9-inch Pilates ball. And also, I've discovered the use of the aqua noodle. So, folks, you can get one that's really long at Walmart for $1.50. And I cut them in thirds, and that's how I use them, you know. And the reason for these is because we're going to do about 10 to 11 exercises. We're going to go through them first vertically. And this is going to act as a warm-up for us as well, where we're not actually going to be using any of the resistance equipment, and I'll get to the rest of that in a moment. We'll be using either the aqua noodle or that fit ball, because it too doesn't have any weight. Now, the additional equipment I'll be using, well, I have here a gel disc. Now, I encounter a gel disc in several communities, and oftentimes if people want to challenge their balance, they sit on the disc. Now, this disc I blew up too much, and I don't know how to release the air yet, so I'll find out. But it is what it looks like. And otherwise, if you choose not to sit up on it, and I wouldn't sit on it if you have balance challenges. I wouldn't do that. But you can also use it for behind your back so that you can snuggle into it and sit up nice and tall while you're working out. And this could be a very helpful tool for those of you who might have osteoporosis of the spine or the postural deviation known as hyperkyphosis, where you're kind of hunched in appearance. Additionally, I'll be working with a mini resistance band, also known as an exercise loop. Now, I tend to provide these myself, but again, one of the communities actually has these as well. So whenever you use a resistance band, like a TheraBand or a loop, you want to hold them up to the light and just kind of scan them and look for a tiny little pinhole, because if you see one, or maybe some little teeth bites from your feline, because I've found them in the past. And so if you see it, though, don't use it, because it can snap, and if it's near your face, it'll hit you in the face. Been there, did that. That's not a lot of fun. And then also, I'll be using an exercise or resistance tube. Now, if you have arthritic hands, you do want to look for a soft foam handle, because they do make them with really hard handles. So you want to be careful with that. And let me see, I think I have, 3 pair of weights. Now, normally when I work out with, decent weight, all right? But because this is truly for the beginner, I want to emphasize that I'm using lighter weights here today for you, because I don't want anybody to kind of feel uncomfortable if I start picking up something heavy. So these weights are 1, 2, and 3 pounds, and you decide what you want to use for yourself, or maybe you just need to work with the exercise noodle and the fit ball. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention here as part of the special dedication is to a fabulous friend of JJ's and mine, and her name is Muriel Wilcott. And Muriel, if you folks don't know her on Facebook, you must rush to her Facebook page, which is Muriel in the Raw.
We love
because
her.
I so admire Muriel. She has come so far in self-care. And so I wanted to present a workout that I feel that could be very helpful to Muriel as well. And of course, she could choose to do some of the stuff standing, folks. And if you don't need to sit, that's fine. But what I'm doing here is to help those of you who must be in a chair either for work or for health reasons. So my whole concept is that you want to reframe the view of, I see that, you want to reframe the view on, or the perspective of a chair, and turn it into a tool for health. So I just wanted to put that special shout out to Muriel Wilcott. And do know that Muriel is, she works very closely with our girl JJ, and JJ coaches her. And I think JJ is doing an excellent job. You got to check out the pictures of Muriel's food. She has like fantastic pictures and very like mouth-watering recipes, and she's got her grandchildren involved in the process. So we got to put it out there for Muriel Wilcott. Now, a blanket statement, folks, if you have, for medical disclaimers and precautionary measures, if you have any chronic health condition, I'm going to ask you please not to participate immediately. Preview the work, but look for what you can do. However, if you're unsure, then I would invite your medical doctor to preview the video as well to help you make an informed decision. A couple of other things I would like to mention here for you is a tip. Feel free to stop and rest whenever you need to during the workout, but I'm not inviting you to quit. So how you handle this is to stop, take a couple of breaths, and then you return to the work. Also, please make sure you keep yourselves properly hydrated with water. Now, if you've been medically advised to avoid drinking a lot of water, perhaps you have kidney or bladder issues, you follow your doctor's advice. And finally, when it comes to some tips here, I'm going to suggest that you folks look up what is called the rating of perceived exertion chart. Now, the one I'm going to suggest that you look for is the one provided by the Cleveland Clinic. And the reason why is because this is it's a 0 through 10 subjective scale that will really help you determine your level of effort. And with the Cleveland Clinic, this particular scale is all about how your effort applies to strength training. So that's why I like that one a lot. And I can tell you that my suggestion for those of you who need to work out in this fashion would be to work out at an RPE between 3 and 6. It could be a very helpful tool for those of you who don't know how to take your training heart rate. Maybe you're taking certain medications like perhaps beta blockers, or maybe you have a pacemaker. Now, I have to tell you, if you have any issues with your heart, I have some clients who have cardiologists, and I've had them print out that RPE chart, take it to the cardiologist or to their primary care physician and ask, is this an appropriate chart for me to use? And if so, what is the range? And I have to tell you something. Typically, the doctors are a lot tougher than I am. So I'm just saying, I'm suggesting 3 to 6, but they may say something else to you, and that's why you might want to show it to them. So I'm just checking my notes here to see what else I can share with you. I think that is it. So we're going to begin here with the first round from a vertical perspective. The first exercise is called a bilateral, meaning both legs at the same time, leg extension. However, if you need to do it unilaterally, one leg at a time or alternating, that's fine by me. So I'm going to hold on to my chair first, and I'm going to lift the legs up so the toes come toward the nose, and this is called dorsiflexion. And I lightly tap the heels down, and then I come back up. So a set is a group of 8 to 15 repetitions. Here on muscle, folks, this is not about endurance. This, as for a very healthy aging process, we need to focus later in life. We have to focus on strength training. So we want to be careful on this exercise for those of you with arthritis, because you don't want to be abrupt with the lifting of the legs. Now, to level up, you can also open your arms out like this and not hold on, but you have to promise me you're not going to fall off the chair. So one more, inhale as I lower, exhale on the effort on the lift. I'm going to hold here for the moment and really work these muscles and the shin muscles. Very important area for the males in the house. And I'm going to gently lower down. Now, the next exercise is called a straight leg push down. So I'm going to turn to the side here, and I'm going to grab, oh, I forgot to mention this, the exercise wedge. Well, hello, here it is. So here's an exercise wedge. However, if you do not have one, don't worry about it. You can just keep your foot on the floor. And JJ, I'm just going to ask you to check the camera for me. Am I on camera with this?
Yes, I see
Okay,
you. And your
fantastic.
foot.
Great, that's great. So the opposite ankle a little forward of the knee, sit up tall. Two things to avoid: leaning forward and pushing down with your arms, and especially near your knee. You never want to push. I just lightly rest my arms on the thigh, toes to the nose. By the way, for dorsiflexion, when you train those shin muscles, it will help your gait when you're walking. It will help the health of your knee as well as balance. So I'm going to push down now and press down 1,000, 1,000. It's a small release. Exhale, 1,000, 1,000. Small release. So working the entire posterior chain here. 1,000, 1,000. Small release. Exhale, 1,000, 1,000. Small release. It goes all the way up to my butt. And 1,000, 1,000. Small release. Again, 1,000, 1,000. Small release. Two more. Exhale, 1,000. 1,000. Small release. And again, 1,000, 1,000. And relax it. We're going to take it over to the other side. And JJ, you'll let me know if I'm on camera with my outside foot and the wedge.
Yes, you are.
Awesome.
I'm
Thank
on
you
the edge
so
of my
much.
seat, literally.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm going to push down 1,000, 1,000, small release. So you want to exhale on the effort. This is an isometric contraction, folks. So you always want to make sure you're exhaling on that contraction. Otherwise, it can give you a bit of a raise in that blood pressure. And release. Push down 1,000, 1,000, small release. Again, 1,000, 1,000, small release. We're going to go for two more. Exhale, 1,000, 1,000, small release. Last one, 1,000, 1,000, and we're going to release it. Okay, now we're going to work muscles around the hips, okay? So here's an option. For those of you who cannot lift those legs up, you're going to work hip abduction. Notice the feet are flat on the floor, and then hip adduction. So hip abduction going away from the midline of the body, adduction going toward the midline of the body. However, I'm going to choose to do it this way as an option. So I'm going to slowly open, pause, and slowly close. Very important to understand. You do not fling your legs out super wide. You're going to see that on the equipment in the gym. We don't want to do that, folks, because if you have sciatica issues or issues with your piriformis muscle, notably piriformis syndrome, you can trigger it. We don't want to do that. We also don't want to go super wide for those of you with osteoporosis of the hip, or those of you who have had a hip replacement. So we want to respect it. Notice I do not bring my thighs any wider than the seat of the chair. The ankles are going to go wider because that's just how the bones are built, right? But we don't want to force anything open real wide. Close slowly, working muscle, not endurance. Because a lot of people think, oh, we have to do 50, 100 reps. I have to lose body fat. That is old science, folks. Last one. I'm going to open here, pause, and close here. I'm going to squeeze the thighs and gently lower. Now I'm going to sit a little forward on the chair. I'm bringing my feet the width of the legs of the chair. Those of you with osteoporosis of the hip, those of you who have had a hip replacement, please bring your legs closer together. But for the rest of us, we can bring them out. You want to make sure that your knees track over your second to third toes. Sit up tall, and I'm going to lift the heels up and down. So what happens is when people sit for a long time in the chair, you know, sometimes for hours on end or all day long, their whole life, you're going to get a lot of accumulation of fluid, edema in the lower extremities, down to the feet, down to the toes. The only way to move the fluid is to move your body. This is an excellent exercise if you're watching television, if you're on a device chatting away, you know, and if you're just hanging around with your beautiful little furry friends, and just make sure you get the movement in the chair so you do not get that fluid accumulation. And I'm going to pause, hold, and really feel those muscles in the calves contracting. Then I lower down slowly. Notice I don't smash my heels down. Some people do that. So we're going to bring those legs closer together. Now I'm going to come around to the side here because I want you to see this. Though I told you before to sit with your ankles forward of your knees, well, not for this exercise. And it's the only one I'm going to ask you to kind of slide your feet back a little bit. And we want to, again, go after those shins. You don't want to shuffle later in life. And the males tend to shuffle more than the females. And I think it's because we wore high heels. But, you know, we have problems with our backs because of that. All right, so now, seated toe taps. Now, I don't count these because these, meaning I don't, you know, a 1, 2, 3. No, I just go for, this is the one that I do go for some speed, unless I stop and focus on the lift, lift, lift. Now, you can't go fast. And you're not going to be able to do as many. But man, are you going to work those shin muscles. And our shins deserve just as much love as any other part of the body because we do tend to ignore them. And when your body wants to start to do this to help you lift, stop. You know you've hit your limit, all right? Now, I'm going to face forward. Let's grab our exercise noodle. I'm actually using 2 of them today. Now, when I hold the noodle, please, folks, more than likely, you're going to have the one with the hole. If you decide to buy one from like Walmart, it's not going to be an authentic aqua noodle, all right? Don't find the hole. I want you to hold the noodle like so, just like so, with your palms, hands cupping the ends. Not like this, not like this, but like this, all right? So we hold it up to the chest. I lift the chest up to the noodle. I have to make sure the noodle doesn't hit my microphone. And now, seeing it here a little bit from the side, I'm going to exhale, push, and then pull. So we're working opposing muscles on the anterior side of the body and the posterior side of the body. And when we want you to be able to push a heavy door open, right? And we want you to be able to pull that heavy door shut. So we push and we pull. And I'm going to face you now. And we push and we pull, push, pause, pull, pause. And this is when I usually have the classes start yelling, push and pull, because they get kind of mad and then they get stronger. And pull it in, pause. All right, now for the next exercise, I'm going to set this down. I'm going to work something where I very much target the rear deltoid muscles, but also upper back muscles, rhomboids between the shoulder blades to help you posturally, because there's an awful lot of this, even if you don't have hyperkyphosis, right? So we bring the arms out. I puff up the chest, shoulders back and down. It's a horizontal arm pull, and I pause. My elbows are absolutely straight. and then slowly come toward each other. Exhale, open. Now you're going to be holding your exercise tube. So I'm just applying a sense of internal resistance instead of flinging, right? We don't want to fling. Pause at the peak of the contraction. The peak of the contraction on the pull is back here with the shoulder blades. So we are working on scapular retraction. You don't want to force your head forward in a forward head posture thinking you're going any further back. Don't go that far back, and absolutely let's keep your head neutral. We're going to do one more like this, and exhale, open, and slowly lower down. So for the moment, let's just take some nice big shoulder rolls just to kind of release that. Whew. Now, I'm going to grab both of my noodles. I'm glad I have one noodle. And now I'm going to hold it alongside me on the outside of the chair, puff up the chest, the arms are straight. You're not leaning forward, although it is a way to level up, but watch it first for those of you who need to be upright. Now, do not bend forward. Those of you with osteoporosis of the spine, please, or the postural deviation hyperkyphosis, you absolutely must stay upright unless you've been medically advised to do otherwise. So I'm going to go straight back, pause, and then I go a small release. So oftentimes I see people go straight back and then they fling forward. Don't do that. Straight back, pause at the peak of that contraction, and then a small release, working the posterior deltoid muscle of the shoulder, the back of the upper shoulder area. Then we're also working those rhomboids. We're working the tricep muscle as well, the back of the upper arm. This is a very simple exercise. When you do it with weight, it's like, what is this? Because we have the lever further away from the body. The lever would be the arms in this case. And when you get them back here and you hold for that pause, it is so much core work, abdominal work. Also, your back erector muscles are part of the core, your pelvic floor muscles, your quadriceps, your gluteals. It all gets involved, not so much with the glute because you're sitting for this one. Pause at the peak of the contraction, hold, and slowly release. Now, I'm going to open the legs wide because when I hang my arms down, I have really long arms, like an orangutan, all right? So holding the edges of the noodle like a hammer curl for biceps, I'm going to curl the arms up. Now the inner upper arms are hugging the outer upper ribs. And because this has absolutely no weight to it, people tend to fling. And the idea is to move slowly. And this way you create more of an internal sense of resistance, but also the use of the ball or the use of the noodle will help you with form. So we pause at the peak of the contraction and slowly lower it down. So now we are going to level it up, folks. So you have an option here. You can do a unilateral leg extension. You can go both legs if you want, but I'm going to teach you another exercise. And this is a form of a leg press. So a leg press is this massive machine in the gyms, but I figured out a way to do it at home. All right. So I'm going to take my loop and I'm going to bring it around the arch of my sneaker, the arch. All right. I'm going to pull it up. So I'm working my biceps now. And your choice, push out in front or push down to the floor, whichever direction best for you. Inhale, exhale, push. Do not collapse that chest, which means I've got to use my left foot. You see it as the left. It's actually my real right foot to help keep that torso lifted. It's a compound movement, and it's very difficult to get the leg muscles to do compound movements for the legs in a seated position. But this one will will do it for you. Compound movement, working multiple large muscles and multiple joints simultaneously. Last one, inhale, exhale, push, pause. Easy when you release because the loop can snap away from you. Yes, I was working on another routine last night, JJ, and T, my beloved cat, was chewing on my loops. So, and I know that Amazon just delivered something for me, and it's the loops. Inhale, exhale, push.
Not that angel tea.
Inhale, exhale, push, pause. Don't let the arms go this way, folks, because then it's not no resistance at all. And you're going to work those biceps, your front deltoids. Again, you're going to work the core muscles of those abdominals quite a bit and those erector spinae muscles that literally help keep us erect. They run up and down both sides of the spine. They're working here. Inhale, exhale, push, pause. Push, pause at the peak of the contraction. I'm going to go for one more. I don't know how many I did, but I'm going to go for it. Push, pause, and easy when you lower this down. Now, we're going to move on to the hip abduction, adduction. For those of you who need to keep the feet down and do this one, now this is how you can level up. Put your hands to the outside of your thighs. Push your arms into your thighs and press your thighs into your arms. So you're coming out abduction. My shoulders are working too. Now, I take the hands to the inner thighs. Palms are on the inner thighs. Push both against each other. You can do it that way as well. Or you can take your loop. You're going to bring it around your ankle. Now, caution. Those of you who are taking blood thinners, do not put any band on bare skin. You must have socks or pants that you can pull down and put the loop over. Otherwise, you just do it without the loop, okay? So I'm going to lift up and I'm going to open 1,000, 1,000, small release. Exhale, open 1,000, 1,000, small release. And again, 1,000, 1,000, small release. Tip, do not let the knees bend and do not let the feet get down there and be sluggish because it's going to pull on your lower back and it can hurt you. 1,000, 1,000, small release. You can always do the option where you're opening and closing with your feet flat on the floor. 1,000, 1,000. It's a very small release. I don't want a loose loop. I want it to be nice and taut. 1,000, 1,000, even on the return here. And again, 1,000, 1,000, small release. Exhale, 1,000, 1,000, small release. Exhale, 1,000, 1,000, small release. One more. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, easy. Let it go. Now I'm going to throw you a little curveball here, but it's a fun one. It's a way to incorporate power in the chair. I'm going to sit a little forward. I'm going to lift my heels off the floor and I'm going to run in place. And I'm going to run in place and you're going to pump those arms forward and back, because a lot of times in the communities, the elbows are on those seats, on the arms of the chair. Get them up. And we pump, pump, pump. And then you go wide. Pump, pump, pump. Pump the arms. Keep going. You want to hit that goal line. And then you start to slow it down. Okay, now we're going to work those inner thighs 2 ways. You're going to grab that fit ball. A little tip about the fit ball, and never have the plug into your skin. You just don't know, all right? So I'm going to put the ball between my thighs, and I've got the feet pretty close together, and these things don't burst, so you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to squeeze 1,000, 1,000, small release. Just one more, because I'm going to show you another way to level this up. 1,000, 1,000, and release. All right, folks. So I'm going to put that ball between my feet. I'm going to lift it, sit up tall, and squeeze 1,000, 2 1,000, small release. And squeeze 1,000, 2 1,000, small release. Exhale 1,000, 2 1,000, small release. Again, no sluggish feet. They got to stay up there. 1,000, 2 1,000, small release. Exhale 1,000, 2 1,000, small release. And squeeze 1,000, 2 1,000, small release. This is not easy, folks. And 1,000, 2 1,000, small release. One more. Exhale 1,000, 2 1,000, and pulse, pulse, pulse. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easy to lower it down. All right, now I want you to grab your heaviest weight, okay? Your heaviest weight. So what I'm going to do here is level up by grabbing 2 pair of weights, because I said I have 1, 2, and 3 pound weights. So what I'm going to do is take a 3 and a 2 and set them on top of each thigh. So I'm just crisscrossing the weights. And let me turn this way so you can see. So resting the weights on the thighs, heels up and down, heel raises. So you're just adding some more resistance now to it. And up, pause, and down. Exhale, up, pause, and down. Keep going, but go slow. Again, not speed here. We only had one exercise where we kind of changed the rhythm of it, and that was the seated toe taps. But of course, running in place is something else, right? Pause, lower, exhale, up, pause. I'm going to do one more. Up, hold, and just hold here. Hold for the contraction of the muscle. Excellent for the Achilles tendon, your calf muscles, gastrocnemius, soleus, the plantaris, and slowly lower. Now, I'm going to shimmy my feet back a little, up, toes up, 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 up. And each time you're lowering down, but don't rock your feet, because some people do that. They're like, they go toes up and then heels up. No, don't blend them, 2 movements. I want to separate them. I want you to give each exercise its full effort. Up, 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 up. I'm starting to go here. I did a 4-mile fitness walk today with my 12.5-pound weighted vest. I now feel it. Okay, so now I'm going to...
Ooh, I bet.
I know. I'm going to remove my 2-pounders, and I'm going to bring my weights up to the chest. And I'm going to push. And I'm going to pull. And I'm going to push. And I'm going to pull. Now, if your elbows are not absolutely straight, when you extend, the weight is too heavy. Lighten the load. And exhale, push, pause, and pull, pause, and push, and pull, and push, and pull, ooh la la, and push, and pull. One more, wow, push, and pull, relax it down. I'm going to grab my exercise resistance tube, and I'm going to hold it out like this. Now, whenever you work with a TheraBand or an exercise tube, the wider you go, the easier it's going to be. The more resistance is when you bring the arms closer together. So I'm going to go somewhere in between it. It's an easy adjustment. So I exhale, open. I want that tube to touch your sternum, your breastbone. And small release. Exhale, open, pause. So my shoulder blades are most definitely retracting. And small release. Exhale, open. And again, pause at the peak of the contraction. Do not drop that head down, especially if you're medicated or not for hypertension, have vertigo or GERD. Not a good idea to work with your head down anyhow, folks, unless it's specific to an exercise. One more. Exhale, open, pause, and slowly release it down. Now, I'm going to use that same exercise tube and work on a bicep curl. What you do is you step on the tube with the tube underneath the arches of the sneakers. Please, folks, for those of you with golfers or tennis elbow, medial or lateral epicondylitis, you need to find out if any bicep, tricep work is appropriate for you because the symptoms are quite unique to each individual and I cannot offer you a suggestion. So I'm going to curl up and slowly down. Now, I love the use of the resistance tube for this exercise because there's a lot of work here on the forearm and wrist muscles. Very important for a healthy aging process, especially because these are osteoporotic sites, right? Especially for females. Now, I want to be careful here for those of you with carpal tunnel syndrome that you do not start to extend the wrist, meaning you do this. Don't let that happen. No bending of the wrist. Exhale up, pause at the peak of the contraction. Inhale, lower. It's really not an easy one in the seat. Up and down. Last one. Exhale up, pause, and slowly lower down. And now I'm going to grab my heavier weight. For some, you might need the slightly lighter. You get to play with this, right? So now I'm going to level up by bending forward. Remember, those of you who we suggested do not forward flex the spine. Straight arm push back or press back. And you press back, pause. Now I'm going to look down and out, but I'm not going to drop my head down. And exhale, push, pause. Inhale, small release. Exhale, push, pause. Also, believe it or not, this exercise is a compound movement. Small release. Exhale, pause. And slowly lower. And exhale, pause. We don't want to swing those arms. You want to control them. And one more. Exhale, take it up, hold, 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 and slowly take it down. Yeehaw. So we're going to take some nice big shoulder rolls, folks, as part of your cool down now. What we don't want to do is this. We don't want to do elbow pumps. We want to do shoulder rolls. So let's bring the hands on the shoulders. We bring the elbows in toward each other. Then we lift the elbows up, press them back, and then all the way down. And if you do a lot of work on the computer at your desk, JJ, an excellent exercise for you because it's getting you to move your scapulae, those shoulder blades. A lot of times, for those of us who have the head in forward head flexion all day long, those shoulder blades don't want to slide around anymore and glide around. They kind of get glued to the posterior ribs on the back. One more, up, back, and down. Let the arms dangle for the moment. And now from here, a little way that I always love to close out my classes on site at the senior communities. Inhale the arms up for gratitude and appreciation for good health. And exhale out and down. And inhale up. Gratitude and appreciation for our beautiful bodies. They work so hard for us, right? And one more. Inhale the arms up and hold here in gratitude and appreciation toward this wonderful community here with JJ and Veganowledge JJ. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Angela. This has
Thank
been
you,
so
JJ.
amazing. We appreciate you, man. That felt so good on my feet and legs because I sit too much at the chair, so I love it. I always pick up on some new little exercises to do while I'm sitting there if I can't get through the whole thing. That one where you had our legs out, lifting our heels up. It just felt like my feet were tingling, like they've
That's
been wanting it.
okay. That's good. I'm glad to hear it. And yes, it's very, very important for you, those of you who are desk people, to really be able to incorporate several of these throughout the course of your day to break it up. It's really important for your blood flow and circulation as well.
I appreciate you joining in. Anything
Thank you.
you would like to say before we close out here? And I will add a
Well,
little
thank
bit
you
of
for
our.
that. I appreciate it. So, for those of you who would like to contact me, you are absolutely welcome to contact me by way of the contact form on my website, which is boomerandbeyondwellness.com. And while you're there, if you'd like to subscribe to my free newsletter, I just got back to it. In fact, today sent out one promoting this particular event. And so these days now, I'm limiting the newsletter to live events and things that could really help you with your self care, but in particular with your movement. And there is a subscribe tab on my website, and you can subscribe, and that what you will receive is actually another total body workout video done in a chair, and you'll receive that as a thank you. So kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, maybe share the videos, give it a nice comment, and maybe a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit the notification bell as well. And do it for JJ as well. Do it for Veganowledge JJ on YouTube. It's really important that we all support each other. And thank you so much, JJ. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. And there is a wealth of information on her YouTube channel that she's already published. So don't even just wait for the new ones. I go back and watch old videos all the time, and it's so amazing what you do for the community, the work you're doing now, and what you've done for us here in YouTube and the vegan community to share with us. The food is important, the whole food plant-based, but thank you for getting us moving. That's why I
Thank you.
love it.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate the fact that you and Muriel extend your platforms to me and always invite me to post my videos there as well. I really appreciate that because the more we can get people moving in today's society, especially since when 50% of the adult population, at the very least 50%, is obese. So we want to try to help people and get out information that is useful, actionable, and can really be effective for them.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you.
And send my best to my girl, Dawn James.
Yes, I'm gonna tell her she's probably ready to have dinner right now. I'm excited for that too.
Me
You guys,
too.
we worked up a workout in this
That's
chair.
right. That's right.
Or what is it? Yeah, I think I said it right.
Yeah, you did. You did. Thank you so much, my dear.
All right, Angela, I appreciate you. I know we're running beyond the time you had, so I appreciate your generous time with us. And you have a good evening, and I will be sending you the link and putting this out to the world.
Wonderful. Sounds great to
We'll
me. Thank
try
you all
next
so
time,
much.
maybe alive one of these days.
I know.
We'll go
Sounds
for it
good.
again.
No problem. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you.